here, host of the Rhythm and Soul Patrol show, and I want to welcome you back to another episode of Behind the Patrol. Now, today's guest has been at the top of my list of people to meet and interview. He is a Detroit native. He was on one of the biggest stations, AM stations back in the day, WJLB, and with some of the greats, like himself, of course. He started at the age of 15, and that's a grown person's job. At the age of 15, he worked his way up in radio to television, and I see a lot of parallels in our lives and careers. Today's guest is Mr. Donnie Simpson.
Wow.
Welcome home.
Thank you, Lindsey. Yes. I appreciate that.
And I also want to mention how, for your whole span of your career, and it's still going, you have had full creative control.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing that I do not want to forget, because...
All right, well, let's start there. I mean, that's huge. That was always huge for me to have. I mean, it was in every contract I ever worked under, full control. Whatever happens between 6 and 10 is up to me. Not just control of the music. Whatever happens, period, that was always important to me. And, and it's so sad that nowadays that's just unheard of.
No, it is.
You just, I just never felt like a programmer in Wichita can tell me what to play for the people of Detroit today. I was always one of those look out the window kind of guys, Shoot, one station I worked at, KISS, when I first went to DC, we were in the basement. We were part of, it was NBC, but, television upstairs, and we were in the bottom level. And I did the morning show, and some days, once an hour, I would go out and walk around the building because I needed to feel the day in order to know what to play. Every day is different. A computer can't do that.
There's a song for every feeling, every emotion that you could think of.
Absolutely.
There's a song for it, especially in the 60s and the 70s. There is a song for every emotion.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, you're an old soul. You know that?
That's what they tell me.
Well, you are. And so anyway, that was always important to me, and it created, incredible moments. For me, being here in Detroit all these 50 years ago, I broke Benny and the Jets by Elton John. But that was because I had that kind of freedom. Black stations didn't play white artists, but I love this song, and, went on the air and played it. I mean, the phones were jumping off the hook. I've never seen anything like it before nor since. And, in 2 days, Elton was actually on the phone from London calling radio. What is this? I hear Benny and the Jets is breaking black in Detroit.
Which is amazing.
I know. He comes to Detroit 6 months later, and he wasn't in concert. He just came to hold a press conference to present me with a gold record for this. It meant so much to him to have the black market because, it went on to become his biggest selling single. At that point, later on it became the remake of Candle in the Wind when Lady Di died. Without that kind of freedom, that moment doesn't happen. And so, I just hate that young people with great ears don't have the chance to express themselves musically nowadays.
No, it's definitely a shame because it's part of their personality. It's what makes them be able to be so happy on air, I would say. You started program directing like 2 years after. Yeah.
Well, when I went to D.C., I started here on radio in 69. I went to D.C. in 77. And the station, it just didn't do well. Station was a disco station, but not straight up disco. We played, I remember, I used to love the moments when I got to play Enchantment. Because, they were from Detroit, and we played Baby, 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 It's You That I Need.
Yes, it's you that I need. Right? What about Sunshine and Gloria? Come on now.
You are an old soul.
I know.
Man, I have to check your ID before we leave here. But, so we would have moments like that I really enjoyed, but for the most part, it was disco. And, but the station wasn't doing well, and finally they asked me to program it, and I had no interest in programming. It never even crossed my mind. I was the music director. You might like this story, how this happened, because I was the music director. And, but every week when we'd have meetings with the program director, I had 2 assistants, and they were white guys. And, so in the program director was black, but he was very white. I don't know how else to put it. And so we would play songs and he'd go around the room, you know, and one moment that I'll never forget, he plays the Rolling Stones' Beast of Burden for us. And so he goes around the room to the other two guys, or two white guys that worked under me. He says, so what do you think, Steve? Oh, I love it. I think it's great. What do you think, John? Oh, fantastic. I love it. What do you think, Donnie? Oh, I love it, but we can't play that.
Yeah.
It's like, why? I said, man, black people don't want to hear that. It's not, you know, I mean, I can love it, but I know what we like.
No, you're right.
And so anyway, he got tired of that, and he asked for my resignation, so I gave it to him, and then I didn't go to work for like 3 days, and you know, he's calling the house every day. My wife's like, he's not here. I wouldn't talk to him. And I was actually, wow, I'd forgotten this. I had actually, during that time, a 3-day period, had an offer to go to Los Angeles. I was going to go to LA and do radio.
Donnie could have been in LA.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I know. And
Look at the world. Imagine Donnie in LA.
Well, I went to LA later through BET.
Yes, through BET.
Yeah. But anyway, finally, the general manager called me and asked if I would have dinner with him. So I took his call, and we went out to dinner. And he was asking, you know, what's wrong? And I just said, man, the station sucks. You know, it's just, you know, we were rudderless. We don't know where we're going. There's no community involvement. I spelled all these things that I was used to here in Detroit. And, you know, I was talking about the music, and I was telling him I had this argument with the program director one day about Brick House by the Commodores. He was arguing that it was a ballad. The biggest dance record of the year,
funk.
he saw as a ballad. And I said, I mean,
Maybe
anyway.
just because it's Lionel Richie, everyone just assumes
I don't know.
ballads.
I have no idea. But this is before Lionel Richie. This is before Three Times a Lady.
Yeah.
And all, you know, this
That
is the
true.
Commodores.
Yes.
This is Commodore spirit. So anyway, we went through all of that and we had dinner. He says, well, look, he says, would you do me a favor? He said, everything we talked about tonight, would you put in an outline form? You know, just something simple, could be handwritten, and I'd like to meet with you tomorrow. I said, sure. So I went home and wrote out, you know, community involvement, the music. And then I made a cassette of music, of why I had music the way I did, how it should be. You know, I like to paint with music, you know. And went in and met with him the next morning at 10. And he looked at everything and he said, would you implement this for us? I said, what do you mean? He says, I want to make you program director. Like, I had no idea that's what he was thinking, you know? And I sat there and went, sure. You know, I had no interest in programming, but I also had less interest in losing.
Exactly.
And I felt like I can at least do better than we were 16th in the ratings. And he actually said, well, go home, come back at 3 for your show today, and you will then be program director. So I went home, he fired the guy, and I came back, I was program director, and that was one of the greatest days ever for me, to go through the
I was going to say, what's your process for digging well, I dig through the crates. That's my process.
That's always been my process. But that was what I was doing that day for a radio station for the first time. I'm like, this is out, put this in, this in. It was just this immediate change. And we went in 9 months from 16th to number 1. You know, I mean,
9 months is crazy.
Crazy. It was so huge because this, again, was an NBC-owned station. It was historic because it was the first time NBC had a number 1 radio station anywhere in the country. It was the first time.
Wow.
And so, you know, I was just thrilled about that. And then life just changed for me. I mean, it was just, really was the beginning of just an amazing run for me. You know, so.
I can say I have a similar story just because I started my own show and I obviously program direct my own show, and I broke Jim Croce. I had to introduce my Soul Patrollers to Jim Croce.
Yeah.
And Jim Croce's a little folk. It's definitely, I wouldn't say our kind of music, but he's got some hits.
Time in a Bomb?
Yes.
Classic.
Operator's my favorite.
Oh.
Operator is my favorite.
Great song. Great song. You like great songs.
I do.
Yeah.
I like message. I love a message. And that's why I say the message in the music. My mission is to bring love songs back to the radio. I feel that there are not anymore.
I love that.
Songs.
I love that.
And so I go through, and this is a segment that we'll do a little bit later, but we're going to look at the message in the music, and I'm a lyricist.
Yeah.
I love the lyrics because, besides my parents as the greatest example, been married 30 years, these songs are my other great example. I don't see it in my generation today, so if I'm trying to learn how to love, either I look at my parents or I go listen to Sam Cooke or Smokey or Curtis.
Well, man, you listed some great ones. Smokey is, to me, I've always felt Smokey's the most romantic man on earth. Mm-hmm. No one can write a love song like Smokey. Do you know You Must Be Loved by Smokey?
Yes, I do.
You do?
I do. I know everything by Smokey. And speaking of Smokey, can you tell me, how would you define the Motown sound?
Oh, wow. Well, you know what? Barry defined it as the tambourine. Mm-hmm. That was the key to the Motown sound, and it is significant.
Yes.
But you know, I don't know that I can define what the Motown sound is, because I just feel like as a musician, I'm not being a musician, that I'm not qualified. Mm-hmm. You know, I can think to some degree define what the Motown feel was. Okay, yeah. You know, that Motown for me was just everything. Motown, you know, it was so much more than music. You know, Motown represented Detroit, of course, a city, but it represented music. It represented excellence in performance. It represented, you talk about messages, but unity between people. It helped to bring down those barriers that separated black and white in America and around the world. How significant is that? Mm-hmm. That's huge. You know, that's bigger than music. Motown was bigger than music. It really was. And, you know, you just think about all the artists that came out of there. You know, as a kid, I used to go down to the Motown Review when I was 11, 12 years old. And I mean, just for me, Lindsey, life never got better than that.
My father tells me about it. And for the $1.50?
$1.50, man. $1.50. And you can stay all day. They didn't turn the house over.
You can't beat that. You can't beat it.
You see the Temptations, Smokey and the Miracles, Junior Walker and the All-Stars, Willie Tyler and Lester for comedy, Gladys Knight and the Pips, the Four Tops, Supreme, Stevie.
Yes.
What? Will never happen again. Will never happen again.
You know, you're right about it being a feeling. Yeah. And I think that feeling, I think what they did, and it was such a great job at what they did, is describing that feeling. I feel that you've got songs like Love Is Like an Itching in My Heart. That everybody can relate to that. Or Tracks of My Tears. You see the trace of you'll see my smile looks at a place. Yeah. All of that. Even Letter Full of Tears by Gladys Knight and the Pips.
Yeah, yeah.
The way she says, welcome to the teardrops, welcome to my eyes. It's just so, they describe it so well that you can.
That was Snoop Dogg, wasn't it? Teardrop my eye.
Well, I'm not sure.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm not sure,
I'm
but I know what
kidding.
Gladys Knight said. But I'm just saying, it's the way where you can almost put yourself right there as if you're that artist and be like, that's me, I can feel that.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I feel that's the Motown sound.
Okay, the first song you mentioned, could you, Love Is Like an Itching in My Heart. Mm-hmm. I started laughing because I can't believe that you know these songs. That just freaks me out.
Yes.
But that was the opening to my show when I was here in Detroit. That's the song I opened with every night, because the first lyric is, the love bug done bit me.
Yes, that's right.
Didn't mean for him to get me. So I was Donnie the Love Bug Simpson. Wow. Right, so that's why I picked that song as my opening song.
Well, that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
And you know the Four Tops are in the background of that song.
Oh, is that right?
They do their famous, I can't do it. But they were on the they're in the background, yes.
Well, you know, I was thinking about the Four Tops. Well, I could think about a lot of artists. When you're talking about Motown, the other thing that I loved about them is when you talk about excellence, just in songwriting, just conciseness of their songs. And I got a chance to tell Brian, Eddie, and Lamont this one day. I had them on the show. I was just telling them, like the second verse in Baby, I Need Your Lovin', when he says, some say it's a sign of weakness for a man to beg. Then weak I'd rather be if it means having you to keep. Because lately I've been losing sleep. And baby, I need... Oh my God, that's so good.
That was my first favorite song ever. Like that was my first. There's videos. There's like VHS of me singing that. My father would get the mic out, and that was my song. Baby, I Need Your Lovin'.
Really?
I thought I was Levi Stubbs. I did.
What a voice. What a voice.
And what's great is they stuck together that whole time, the whole way through. Them, the Dells, you name a couple groups that just stuck it out.
Yeah.
Records labels were trying to pull them apart. But they stayed together.
Yeah.
And Levi wouldn't take other jobs unless you included his tops.
Is that right?
That's right.
I love it. That's great. That's great.
Now I want to talk about, you grew up in your family business. Your family had a business, your mother's record store.
Yeah, Simpson's Record Shop.
So for me, my parents own their own health food store. They specialize in holistic medicine, the natural way. And I grew up in my parents' store, all of my siblings and I. And we had to work in there, talk to customers. And I feel that it taught me at such a young age how to be mature, how to hold a good conversation, speak well, and give eye contact. Something that my generation fails to do from time to time. So would you say growing up in your mother's record store, did that teach you those qualities right there? Or, I mean, that was just the standard back in the day, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, well, maybe it was just a standard, I don't know. But, one thing I learned for sure was how to interact with people, by being in that record shop every day. And, just having just a variety of people all the time in your life, I love people. And I think that all of these experiences help to develop me that way, some of them that would come in would be professional. We had the winos that were hanging out on the corner, and they all hung out in the record shop too. I remember guys coming to the record shop drunk, man, and come in there, Mrs. Simpson, I want you to put me dead in the alley. They want to hear some blues.
Yes.
Right? Put some blues on, man. Had them just pass out right there in the record shop. Stuff like that, experiences like that, just so amazing to me.
Well, I want to talk about the 1975 cross ownership rule. And it's when large companies couldn't own
more than one AM,
media,
one FM, one TV.
Newspaper, radio stations. Yeah. They couldn't, but then in 1996 that changed. And you're obviously in radio. Did that affect the black radio stations? Because corporations came in, they bought up all the black radio stations, made it a corporation, really.
Yeah.
Made it corporate.
Yeah. God, you're so beyond your years. I love you.
I wanted to
because this is stuff I never would get to talk. No one asked me anything like that in an interview.
Behind the Patrol is, I've seen what you've done. I've watched you. I've studied you. I want to talk about things that no one else talks about.
Well, you're there.
Thank you.
You're there. So thank you. Yeah, I mean, that was significant for all of radio because then you had all the conglomerates come in. Like you said, they bought up all these radio stations, and that's what created this homogenized sound that you hear across the country now. What I used to love radio. Man, when I would travel, I couldn't wait for Wheels Down in New Orleans or Houston or Los Angeles or whatever. Because I had my little transistor radio sitting on the jetway. I'm telling you, I would put my headphones on. I could not wait to hear radio because every city was different, felt different. The music was different. Now, it's all the same. Yeah. Because you got one programmer really programming for 80 stations around the country. And it's such a homogenized kind of thing now.
And you're going to hear the same old school, the same select few. Let's Stay Together by Al Green, Living for the Love, what is it, by the Isleys.
For the Love of You.
Yes. Yeah. You're going to hear that 3 times a day.
Yeah.
3 times.
Right.
And then every day after that.
And my thing is, how can you have all of these songs available to you, all this music that's been made over the last 50 years, and you're able to make me tired of this song?
Exactly.
You have so much to pick from. It's just weird. It's weird. But yeah, so that really did impact radio significantly in a way that I didn't like, because, again, I'm the mom pop guy.
Exactly.
So it took all of those stations out of play. You didn't have, the conglomerates came in and bought up everything. And it just took the uniqueness away from it, which bothered me.
Of course, and I think that, like I said, Black radio stations definitely fell because the music changed.
Yeah.
The music really changed, and just the songs that were being selected. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that that's the most powerful. That's one of Black people's most powerful tool, music.
Yeah. Oh, there's no question.
And being able to confess our feelings and our hardships and the good times, the bad, everything in those songs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I think that is what's at least made it's kind of made it chill. The word I'm looking for, it's kind of structured my life. This music. But if you take someone else from my generation, the music that of today is kind of structured their life.
Yeah. Right.
So that's different.
Right. Well, for me, I always think back to like James Brown would Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud, 1968, I was 14 years old, and to get a message like that in my formative years was so significant. Yeah. There would never be a song that would be more important to me than that one. Never. I don't care how long I live. That was the song for me. And as a matter of fact, I was talking about that in a documentary. And Reverend Al, who was kind of raised by James Brown, I was hanging with Reverend Al one night. We were at the cigar bar in New York. And he was telling me, he said, man, that documentary you did with James, he said, man, Mr. Brown, he doesn't call him James, Mr. Brown. He said, with Mr. Brown, he said, man, we used to have to play that video for him all the time. He loved that. And he said, your part, we would play it. And he said, back that up, play it again. And they play it again. And he said, you hear what he said right there? He said, that's the most important song in music history, not Black music history, music history. Play it again. He said, play it again. He said, that's my man right there.
Oh.
Do you have any idea how much that meant to me?
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine.
To know that my king, that something I said meant something to my king. And I used to tell James that, man, you're my king. I'm your soldier, man. There ain't nothing I wouldn't do for you. And I meant that because he taught me Black pride. You get assists from Curtis Mayfield. There are other people that had messages like that. But James was at the forefront of that.
He's even got a song called Don't Be a Dropout.
Yeah, right.
Telling the kids to, straighten up and fly
right. Or the King Heroin song. How powerful was that
Exactly.
thing? To tell you what that experience was like. Oh my God, James was the man.
Definitely.
Love
Godfather
James.
of soul.
Godfather of soul.
I want to go into, I brought some albums with me, if that's okay.
Okay.
I brought some albums with me, and I wanted to talk about a few. I've got the first one, 1974, The Dramatics, The Dells versus Dramatics. And there's a song on there.
This is classic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's Lenny Mays.
I
threw newspapers with Lenny Mays of The Dramatics.
Really?
I lied about my age. I was supposed to be 12. I was 11. And I remember one day in the paper station, Lenny came in singing, no other girl can whisper sweet things in my ear. And the way he sang, I was like, my God, that guy can sing. Because everybody thought they could sing, but then you hear a real voice. Whoa. And that's like my earliest remembrance of his voice. So anyway, but I knew his brothers.
I love when he does Going by the Stars. And
he
takes that, it's his song. Ron and LJ, they do their thing, but I like
Well, at the end, that's LJ, though, with the,
I don't give a heck about the old Zodiac. That's what I tell people. I'm going by the stars in the skies. The stars in your eyes, not the stars in the skies. So, they each, like we said, they all could sing.
Yeah.
They each can hear the song. But he comes in so smooth.
Oh, yeah.
He comes in so smooth. But
just shopping.
Oh, just shopping.
You told me you were.
Yeah.
That's LJ. Lenny. Wow. Okay.
There's a song on that album called Tune Up.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Tune Up is it's a great. They compare love to a car. They said that we need to. The love is fading. Let's tune up our love, shift those love gears back into motion. Woo! Regulate those mixed up emotions. We gotta tune up. So I highlight that song.
I love it.
Because the lyrics are so good, but also you were great friends with Mr. Ron Banks.
Yeah, it's my man.
I heard one day y'all were driving. He said, "That's Marvin's house. Let's stop."
Yeah. Well, Marvin was coming out of get out of his car and was coming up the driveway. And Ronnie said, "Man, that's Marvin, man. Let's stop and say hello." I said, "Okay, cool." I'd never met Marvin. And
then you were in the studio. Tell me about the studio.
Yeah. Well, Marvin invited me that day. He says, "Man," he said, "This is Donnie." He said, "Yeah, man, I listen to you every night." It's like, whoa. He says, "Look, I'm going to the studio tomorrow night, man. You ought to come check us out." I said, "Okay, I would love to." He said, "But let me give you a number first. Call me in the morning, man, because I'll get up in the morning and decide to climb Mount Everest, and I'll be gone." I was like, wow, that was so deep to me.
Yeah.
And so went into the studio with him. He was recording the originals. You know, he produced stuff,
yes.
The Bells and Baby I'm For Real were his.
Gosh, Baby I'm For Real. Baby. I love that song.
What a great song. What a great song.
I thought that was so cool. I would go to a record store, and the owner of the record store, he likes all my knowledge, and he makes me CDs of old concerts, and I'm a sucker. My favorite show is Unsung. I love to sit and just watch documentaries.
Yeah.
And he gave me Ron Banks' funeral on DVD, and I watched it, and you were on there.
Oh,
and that's
really?
where I heard that story.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
I didn't even know that tape existed.
Well, I have it. If you want to copy,
I would love to. Would love it.
I got you.
Man, I got to tell you, after Ronnie died, man, it took me probably 7 or 8 years before I could listen to a dramatic song and not cry. It took me, man, all of them. I loved all the guys. But Ron in particular, man, me and Ronnie were really, really tight. This is my boy. Yeah.
I love the dramatics. I
Oh,
do.
me too.
I really do.
When I come home, I have a friend, Terry Legion, who lives here. We get in his car, and all we listen to is dramatics. And I said, "Terry, whatever you got to do today, you got to run errands, whatever. I'll be sitting right here, man." We ride around 7, 8 hours just listening to the dramatics.
I mean, they've got that wide of a catalog where you can listen to them all day long.
All day.
They do.
All day, man. I'm telling you.
They were very lucky to have as many songs as they did.
Yeah. I did the liner notes for one of their albums.
Which album?
Yeah. God, what?
Because I read the liner notes now.
Yeah. What was the name of this album?
Joyride.
No. It was
Dramatic
earlier.
Jackpot.
Oh God.
Dramatically Yours. I'm sorry. I can just name a few.
You're like an encyclopedia. Oh my God. But anyway, yeah, I just remember you. God.
Well, whenever you think about it, you can let me know, and I would love to read them.
Yeah.
But yes, the dramatics are an
They used to bring
amazing
their albums to me. Don Davis produced so much of the stuff on them. Would bring the albums. "Donnie, I want you to listen to it. What's the next single?" You know, he would always want me to pick the next single. And and they always had exclusives. I would always break their music on my show. They would always give it to me first. You know. And so anyway, we had quite a relationship, man. Me and Dramatics.
Well, we'll do one more.
Okay.
Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. This is a later album, the Blue album. That one came out in 1979. And that's when Teddy Pendergrass already left the group. So it's just Harold Melvin, and then they have obviously Sharon Page. A song on there, "I Should Be Your Lover."
Huh.
The OJs. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I knew this was going to happen. I know you. I know what you do.
Listen, the OJs originally did it, and we're going to Philadelphia. So Kenny Gamble, Leon Huff. I love. They're like the way they do lyrics. They're amazing. That whole team, Tom Bell. Oh my goodness, they could work and they could create hits.
No question. I mean, it was a factory at Philly International.
It was.
They were amazing, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the song "I Should Be Your Lover," Harold Melvin, such a smooth guy. He raps in the beginning of the song. Yeah. And he has this whole rap about how here you go again. You know, you come tell me about your man who's doing you wrong, but you're staying there. And in a line in his rap is he says, "You've got a body by Fisher, but your mind is by Mattel." My dad told me what that meant because I didn't know.
Yeah, Fisher body, Detroit. So Detroit would know that.
So your body's nice, but your mind is a toy. that's clever. Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff, how did you do it? That is so clever.
It's brilliant.
And then they come and they're like, it's like a diss, and then they come in like, I should be your lover. And it's just like, so cool. I had to highlight that lyric. Yes, please listen to that song.
I will. I love it. You're sending me home with homework.
Yes,
I love it.
And then I brought just some other albums and stuff that, I know your favorite song is The Makings of You, Curtis Mayfield.
Well, yeah.
I know you.
Well,
like
that's
that
one of them. I mean,
Oh, Ain't No Way,
my
Aretha
favorite.
Franklin. I know you got a couple. Rocket Man.
My all-time, right? Yeah.
I know.
My all-time favorite song though is "Ooh Baby Baby."
Really?
Yeah.
Smokey. Oh, Smokey. Yes, Smokey.
Yeah.
Smokey's got some good
Oh
ones.
my God.
Yeah,
I mean, you talk about again, concise writing. You know, I did you wrong. My heart went out to play, but in the game, I lost you. What a price to pay. I'm crying. Ooh.
No, he does his thing.
That's sick.
Yes.
That's sick, man. You know, and for me to fast forward to today, where Smokey's one of my best friends, it's like, how did that happen? I mean, I used to. You know, I said at the Motown Review, I idolized this man, you know, and I still do, but we're boys now, you know. It's just, you know, one of the most memorable moments ever for me on Video Soul was with Aretha. And we did a 2-hour special from her house. You know the moment I'm talking about.
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, man. She started singing The Makings of You.
Yes, she
right.
does.
And I just started crying right in the middle of the interview. Because there was so much in that moment for me. It was too much. It was too much. I'm sitting on the Queen's throne. The greatest voice I've ever heard is singing in my ear one-on-one, and I just didn't know how I got there. You know, I just didn't understand how this could happen for a villager.
Yeah.
You know, what am I doing here? Surely they're going to usher me out, you know? It was just too much. At her funeral, let's fast forward to that. Oh my God, what a moment for me. You know, I'm walking down the aisle, you know, and she's laying there in her casket. And when I get there, I want to touch her. And, but I'm scared to. I've never been to a royal funeral before, you know? So next thing I know, my hand is on her. And the 2 bodyguards standing there didn't pick me up by my elbows and take me out. And it was at that moment that I realized that the Queen belongs to all the villagers. And you do have that right, you know? And she meant so much to me. Just, you know, just so proud, you know, that Detroit pride.
Exactly.
That this woman became the queen of the world. You know, I mean, when she died, they're playing Respect at the changing of the guard in London. How cool is that? That's respect, man.
It is.
So anyway, I know I've gone off into something else, but
speaking of respect, like this woman could take anybody's song and make it her own.
Please.
Otis Redding,
Please.
He couldn't do nothing with that one anymore.
Once the Queen did it, baby, it's done.
It is. And
it's done.
Have you ever heard her do That's the Way I Feel About You? She did
No, the Bobby Womack song?
I'm going to make you a playlist. That's what I'm going to do. And it's going to be songs. You said you're still learning. You said, yeah, you might have heard all these songs, but you can go back and listen like you never heard them before.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make you a playlist.
Man, please. I would love it. I would love that.
I can put Donnie Simpson on some songs now. I can do it.
I got to tell you this. When she died at the African American Museum here in Detroit, they had this special wing for her, and that she had, it was done exactly how she wanted to do it. She was the one who planned it out, what it should look like, right? And so I went to see it, and first thing you see when you walk through the glass doors is this huge movie screen with that interview of me crying and talking to her on a loop. They kept playing that over and over all day for the 2 or 3 months that they had this exhibit. And again, that meant so much to me. That she picked this, that this meant something to her, you know?
Yeah.
Man, yeah. It was awesome.
Queen of Soul.
Yep.
We love Aretha Franklin, especially us Detroiters.
Yeah, oh, you know it. Yeah, the greatest voice ever. No one moves me more, moves me more than Aretha. It's just something about her voice, just, you know, oh God, one more moment. Until You Come Back to Me.
Oh, yes.
for as long as I can remember, whenever we get to the bridge, you know, baby, I've been loving you, whatever she says. I don't want to try to sing, but I would always cry. I would be so moved that I would cry and never knew why. Didn't know why. It's like, why is this part of the song move me? You know, I don't know why, but I always cry when I get to that part of the song. When she died, the night before the funeral, Stevie was performing in D.C., and they had moved her funeral back one day because of this date that Stevie had, because he wanted to be there. So I'm at the concert. Stevie plays this song, and he wrote it. It was his song. And I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. I didn't know it was his song.
He wrote until you oh, actually, I did know that.
Yeah,
I did know that.
I didn't. And he says, this is a song I wrote for Aretha, blah, 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 and he plays it. He gets to the bridge, gets to that part, and he loses it. Just like I always did. And I told him after the show, you know, that's always been my experience. It was just amazing to me to have that moment, to see Stevie moved at the same thing, to just lose it like that at that part of the song was just amazing to me. So
it is. And I love when other artists sing each other's songs.
Yeah.
You just get a different feeling.
And you think like Aretha, so many of her songs were remakes.
Especially in the early days, yeah.
Which says to me that she was a lover of good songs. You know, that they didn't have to be mine. Just, if it's good, I want to do it, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that woman was special, man. Right. One of a kind.
I don't want to take too much of your time.
Man,
I can keep talking?
Man, you can do whatever you want to do. And you sending me home with homework. Now, I love that. I love it.
Did you know when you first started in this business that you would have such great longevity?
No. I never really thought about it.
I mean, you know? Of course, at 15, you probably don't think about that.
No, I didn't think about it. But, you know, I do remember thinking about it later, like, say, around age 40 or something like that. That, you know, I would think of, like, in terms of competition when people would come into the market and, you know, and all this. And because I remember thinking, like, you know, that this is, that when you go up against me, this is not two Ferraris racing. You're going up, this is like a Mercedes diesel, you know, 0 to 60 in 3 days. But once you get that baby rolling, man, you know, this is a long race. That's the way I've always felt about my career. This is a long race.
Yeah.
You know, so I never got caught up in the flavors of the day and, you know, competition like that. You know, I don't know. I never listened to competition, to other radio stations, other talents. Never. I have this sole focus on what I do. I really do.
Amazing.
I don't. I don't care what other people do. I can't play defense. What am I going to do about it? What? Listen to it for what? What am I going to do about it? You know, all I can do is be the best that I can be. And that's the way I've always been. I don't watch, I never watched video of me. I used to hate it when I walked in people's houses and Video Soul was on. It made me feel so uncomfortable. It's like, what am I doing on TV? Yeah. You know, seriously, it was just weird. And the thing for me, like listening to yourself or watching yourself, I was always afraid that I would then start trying to be perfect. I didn't want to be perfect. I want to be great, but you can never be perfect. You know, I don't need to be perfect. I need to be me. And so I like to keep it just natural. Because I know I'm going to tear myself apart anytime I look at anything. And then, so now, while I'm doing it, start trying to do this analysis while I'm doing it.
Too much.
I just stayed away from it, man.
Yeah. That's some great advice right there. I think that for a lot of people that you're your biggest critic.
Critic. Without doubt.
Literally.
Without doubt. There's no question. I just never wanted to get caught up in that. You know, so I don't watch. And then for me, it's kind of an embarrassing thing too. It's like, I don't know. I just never felt like I was special or, like the moment with Aretha, to tell you, it's like, what am I doing here? How did I get here? I have that thing about me. Like, it's weird because I'm perfectly comfortable around some of the greatest people, from Elton John to Smokey to Marvin to whoever. you know, but at the same time, I'm like, I still have this thing like,
I mean, you're you.
why am I here? Who am I to be here with these great people, you know? So.
Well, I definitely understand what you're saying, but I also do thank God that it is me, you know?
Yeah.
Because just the opportunities. I mean, me sitting with you today. I mean, why me? But thank God it is me. Because I've been a fan for a very long time.
Really? Well,
I'm only 22. But
yeah, it's not very long.
As long as I could be, okay? As long as
awesome.
I could be.
Well, you know what? I got to tell you that I am a fan of yours. When I got the email asking to come on, and I looked at some of your previous shows, and I was like, oh my God, I love this woman. I called my daughter and said, Dawn, I got to send you this. I want you to look at this woman. I'm in love with her. She's so awesome. So it says she's so sweet and cute. And I know sometimes women don't like that word, but to me, it's a compliment. That it's,
of course,
you know,
of course.
You have a cute, very likable. You know, you're an amazing talent. And I'm telling you, I cannot wait to see where life lands you. And I know it's going to be beyond your dreams. It's going to be beyond what you could possibly see right now. I'm telling you, you got something special all over you, baby. I'm telling you, that's for real.
You guys heard Donnie Simpson say it first. Take his advice. I'm ready. Monday, whenever. I'll be on the next plane. Let me know. Let me know. I'm ready to go to work.
Well, if you're ready, hey man, they're ready for you. I'm telling you. You watch.
Well, I got you a present.
Oh.
And I'm really excited about this, and I know you will be, so I'm going to grab it. It's right over here.
Okay.
Now, it's very heavy, and you got to be careful.
Okay.
You got to be careful, and it's heavy, so please, take it out.
Can I take it out? Okay.
Well, we got you some merch, of course. You're a Soul Patroller now.
Oh, okay. Oh, I love that.
Soul Patrol.
Ah, the Rhythm and Soul Patrol show.
Don't lose the groove.
That's great. Thank you.
And then a Soul Patroller. That's what I call.
Is this the same thing?
No, it's different. I call my my listeners Soul Patrollers because we are patrolling the airwaves, preserving that groove. So that is.
Thank you.
And then this.
That's awesome.
Please be careful.
Wow.
So, a little story time about this.
Oh.
I went to your mother's record store, Simpson's Records, and I found a piece.
Oh wow.
Of the parking lot broken up. And I took a piece of the parking lot. My older sister, Allison, is an artist, and I asked her to paint it white and make it look like your mother's record store. And I just wanted you to have a piece of it because I know you're no longer here. And they painted the building blue, but they still have Simpsons now. Simpsons Records.
Oh, is that right? It's still there?
It's that part's white, still in red, but everything else is blue. And I saw that on the ground, and I always like to give my guests something just to remember me by, but I thought that was super special. And
it is. Thank you so much.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate this. This is amazing.
Of course.
You know, I mean, on top of all that talent and sweetness that is you're thoughtful.
Thank you.
I didn't know that. Thank you. You know, I lost my mom, just last fall, so.
Let me know if I can hold something.
No, I got it. This is amazing. Thank you.
Of course, and I want you to show it to your brother as well. I know, I'm sure
show
Lonnie
it to
will
the
like
cameras
it.
too. Oh, Lonnie. Yeah, that's my twin brother, Lonnie. My heart. He will love it.
You guys, a piece of
My womb
home
mate.
for him. That is some of the parking lot of his mother's old record store.
That's
Been
very.
around since 1966. And
Boy, you're like a stalker. Everything.
don't say that now. I
know that's a bad word.
I do my homework, okay? I am no stalker.
No, that's really, really, really
If
sweet.
you're going to give me an
Thank you.
opportunity, I'm going to take it. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Of course.
What an experience.
Thank you.
You are an experience. You are. And I thank God for you. I'm telling you. And again, I just can't wait to see everything that's going to happen for you. You have no idea. You have no idea. You know, when you get to that point and I hope you remember that I said this to you, that you will get to a point where you are living, you're not living the dream, you're living beyond your dreams. So far beyond your dreams. That's where you're going, beyond your dreams. You cannot possibly imagine what's going to happen for you. You have no idea.
Well, that is very kind, and thank you so much.
I mean that.
And it's been an honor sitting here with you and letting me pick your brain and asking you questions that we never hear Donnie Simpson answer. So thank you so much, and letting me take you on my side, where we're the lyricists and we dig in the once again, I'm going to say it again, it is my mission to bring love songs back to the radio. Yeah. And I just thank you again. I'm going to close out. I'm Lindsey Renee. I just sat down with the legend, Donnie Simpson. And when I talk about truly someone who I've been wanting to meet, and I really am a fan. I really, I don't like the word fan, but I've been placed in a position where God has allowed me to find my purpose at a young age. And I'm so happy that there have been others before me that can show me how it's done. So until next time, don't fight the feeling and don't lose the groove. Be sure to tune in next time to Behind the Patrol.
Lindsey Renee, what's next?